Hello, hello. Hello, Rusty Shackleford. I'm trying to do this live stream kind of cold turkey right now because I was late. Something came up, an emergency kind of actually situation, so had no choice but to postpone the live stream for you guys. Sorry about that, but I'm trying to make best for what I have. Hello, Veni Vidi Vici. 1950s Budweiser advertisement. They should make that into a Coors advertisement. That's what I like. Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. Something happened. Basically, somebody tried to break into one of our properties, and yeah, I had to go take care of that. So, but nothing happened. So we got 5 people here. I have my dinner, which is literally hold on that. Yes. He's here. I don't know if you want him. Huh? So got 6 people here. Looks like we're gathering a party. I have dinner here. This is literally just bread and Swiss chard. Okay, this is like poverty cooking. How's the mids? Oh, I don't know what that is. What do you mean, like midterms? I don't know. It looks like Republicans are going to be winning for the most part. Too much Sichuan peppercorn? No, I wish. I wish that was the case, man. I wish that was the case. Yeah. Probably a really good guy. Probably a really good guy. Damn, police officers are so evil. Damn, police officers are so. This is why This is why when that wheelchair guy got shot by the cops, I didn't feel sorry for him because I don't feel sorry for thieves. I don't give a shit how old you are, or if you're on a wheelchair, or if you're. I don't give a shit if you're like dying from cancer and you're thieving. You're still a thief. You know. I'm literally eating leaves right now. I live such a wealthy life, guys. I'm so wealthy. Eating leaves. Oh, you had a soaking extension cord? Oh my god, that sounds dangerous. It's terrible. A lot of Christmas. I think there's a lot of fires in the holiday season because of the Christmas lights. Everybody's walking around with freaking lights on their trees or whatever. I'm eating poverty food right now. Leaves and bread. Delicious. I have arrived with my poverty cooking. Sorry about the postponement, guys. Sorry about the delay. I realize that I have a mic that's sensitive, so I don't want to chew in front of you guys. Pretty sure that sounds annoying. A charred grilled cheese sandwich does sound good, actually. I used to do this thing, and I still do it from time to time, where I would make a quesadilla, and I would put Swiss chard in it. I would slightly cook the Swiss chard, then put it in a tortilla with a little bit of goat cheese, and then you grill the tortilla. Delicious with chilies. Oh man, with like hot salsa, habaneros. Oh, do people ever call you pessimistic for being a realist and breaks their illusions? All the time. I hate it when Catholics come up and they're like, "You're a heretic or something," or "You're a evil person who hates the church now." Some guy said to me, "You just left your faith because of some gay priest," and I'm like, "What kind of a doormat are you?" I don't know. I think if you go into a building and there is a good percentage that someone's going to sexually harass your son, I think you as a father have the obligation to do something, you know, and the least you could do is walk away. Love your cooking videos. You do a great job. Thank you. Several varieties of za'atar. What's your favorite variety? The only variety I only know of two varieties. One that has sumac and one that doesn't have sumac. That's the only varieties that I know of. What temperature do you leave your house for the cats? I don't know. It's like 71 degrees in here, 72 degrees. But cats are pretty adaptable. They can adapt to hot temperatures. And believe it or not, they can adapt to some breeds are better at adapting to cold temperatures than others, you know? I'm eating Swiss chard, guys. I never heard of the sack of the za'atar. You have to educate me on that. Not 72 degrees. No, 72 degrees Celsius, dude. Come on. You live in America. You know exactly what I'm talking about. 72 degrees F Fahrenheit, not 72 degrees Celsius. I think you're just trolling me. But yeah, I don't feel sorry for that wheelchair guy. That's why I did a video. I was trolling some of the people in the comment section for that police video. They're like, "Oh my god, it's a literal execution. Literal execution. It's an execution." No, it's not. The only reason why you say it's an execution is because the guy's on a wheelchair, so his body's a little bit on a lower level. So it looks like an execution because the cop has to point his gun a little bit downward. It's not an execution. It's a police-involved shooting that was completely justifiable. Oh, see, for the communists? Of course you're trolling me. Before sacking of Tsargrad, the Phoenicians had the Crusaders sack Zadar. Before the sacking? Are you speaking of the sacking of Constantinople by the French, the Catholic Normans in the, what was it, 13th century or something? I don't remember the date. But so like the Orthodox love to talk about how the Turks sacked Constantinople, but they love even more to talk about how the Catholics sacked it. Which one are you speaking of? I just meant different brands of za'atar. I have the spice out. Oh, okay, different brands. The best za'atar is one that has the best za'atar is one that is compressed with a little bit of olive oil. So when you mix your spices together, you add a little bit of olive oil to compress all the different ingredients together. And it has a lot of sumac and a decent amount of sesame seeds. That's the best za'atar. What is your favorite food of all time? If I have to choose my favorite food, it doesn't have to be healthy. So if you ask me, like, what's your favorite food that is healthy, I would probably tell you borscht, Russian beet or Ukrainian beet soup. I would say that's my favorite healthy dish. But my favorite dish of all time over anything else, regardless of health, is nachos. I think nachos is the greatest thing ever invented as far as cooking goes. You have your hot tortilla chips that are crunchy and crispy, and then you have hot lava cheese on top of it, sour cream, peppers, green onions, hot sauce. Oh my God, you can never go wrong with that one. It's absolutely delicious. I'm gonna try to make it like you did. The za'atar? Oh yeah, go for it, man. I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it. But you're gonna have to get a lot of oregano. I mean, is there a place where you can get a lot of your oregano? That's why when it comes to herbs, parsley, mint, oregano, I think that people should just grow their own herbs. I really believe that. And I think there's very little excuse for not growing herbs because herbs are plants that can grow in pretty much any climate. They don't have any insect issues. They don't have any issues of rodents or rabbits eating them. And they require very, 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 very little space. So there really is no excuse. If you could literally grow a lot of herbs on an apartment balcony, there's very little excuse not to grow herbs. Jamie Oliver spoke about this one time. He talked about how when he started gardening, because Jamie Oliver gardens a lot of his food for his restaurants. When Jamie Oliver started gardening, people were like giving him crap about it, and they were like, "Oh, Jamie, it's so easy for you, Jamie Oliver. You're a very wealthy celebrity chef. Of course, you can have your garden. You're not working class like the rest of us. You don't have enough space." And Jamie's like, "That's bullshit. Because when I had an apartment and I was a poor student, I still grew my own herbs. So herbs is something herbs is a thing that you have very little excuse not to grow. It's just as simple as that." You can get oregano, no problem. That's cool. Now, where do you get oregano? Like, where do you get a high yield of oregano? Because when you go to an average grocery store, they just give you like a few little sprigs of oregano. And they charge you like $1.50 or something like that. It's very expensive. So I'm wondering, where are you sourcing your oregano? Yeah, some herbs even repel insects. Absolutely, insects tend to stay away from herbs, especially like parsley. I've never had any insect. The only insect that I see on parsley is butterfly caterpillars. Butterflies, caterpillars like to feed off of parsley and dill. Dill is their favorite vegetable, and then they will begin to start their process of metamorphosis into a butterfly, usually on parsley or some other plants. But I will leave those alone because I think that we should definitely be promoting butterfly reproduction because butterflies are super important pollinators. So I really don't like I don't like killing any insects that are important for agriculture. Honeybees and butterflies, praying mantises, ladybugs. I don't ever mess with these insects. Believe it or not, at one point in time, I had a really bad aphid problem to the point where aphids were destroying all of my leafy greens. They were not all of them, but they were destroying a good chunk of my kale. A lot of my kale got taken over by an aphid infestation, and it came to the point where I could not eat kale. Like you would harvest the kale, and there were just aphids all over the leaves. Like you would have to wash it really well to get rid of it, and it became really annoying. And I'm not exaggerating. I didn't spray them or anything. Well, I did use a little bit of soap water, but for the most part, I didn't do anything. And the next year, I had an army of ladybugs all over my garden. All over, the hundreds of them, and there were like little baby ladybugs everywhere and adult ladybugs everywhere, and they were just feasting on all the aphids. And I just allowed nature to take care of itself in a way, just allow nature to take care of it. So that's why, like, you have, like, right now, I'm dealing with a rodent issue. This is the very first time I have actually had a serious problem with rodents. My rodent problem in my garden. So basically, you know that you have a rodent issue when you go out and you see your vegetables just chomped on. Like, not with insects, you see like little bites here and there. With rodent issues and rabbit issues, you'll just see ginormous teeth marks on the fruit or on the vegetable. So, for example, if you're growing beets, you'll see that the beet has been lopped off, or the top part of the plant, the leaves and the base where it meets with the root, that part has been chopped off, and the leaves are down, because it's been disconnected from the root, and the root system is still on the ground, but the top of it has been gnawed on. Or if you have turnips, you'll see the turnip just eviscerated from within. You'll just see what's left of the skin of the turnip and a little bit of the meat, the flesh of the turnip inside. And you know that this is not an insect issue. This is a rodent issue. You're dealing with voles. You're dealing with maybe mice or maybe rabbits. But usually, when you see root vegetables getting gutted out like that, it's voles that are the perpetrator, the culprit. And you could use traps and things like that, but it's kind of a pain in the ass because sometimes traps don't work. Your best solution is a cat. That is your best solution. And for years and years, I had no rodent issues in my garden. Nothing. Not one rodent issue. Completely gone. I had no rodent issues, no rabbit issues, nothing. The reason why was because I had this black cat that would sleep outside every night, and it never died. Never got hit by a car, never got killed by predators, nothing. This thing survived. It's still alive. This cat is still alive. It's over 13 years old. This cat is the most intelligent cat I've ever known. I've never known a cat this intelligent before. It knows not to go to the street, and it knows not to leave the property. It stays in, and it's just hardwired to act this way. The cat was an amazing hunter. It would kill birds, kill mice. It was ridiculously good hunting. Kill rabbits. Then recently, this cat got old. So last year, the effects of aging really made themselves apparent. And she still walks around and everything like that, but she doesn't hunt anymore. If you put her outside, she'll literally just hide underneath. She'll hide it like underneath something and just sit there. Like she won't hunt. So I just keep her in the house because she literally is not doing anything. She's too old. She's over 13 years old. Most cats don't live that long. So then we had another cat that was a really good hunter, but it got hit by a car. Again, it wasn't as intelligent as the black cat that I have. So yesterday, I went to the city animal shelter and got myself a free feral cat. The government literally gives away these cats for free. They don't charge you any money. They want you to take it away. So I got myself this ginormous black cat. Supposedly, this cat is a good hunter. I haven't set it out yet, but this thing is huge. If I get a chance, if it jumps on my lap during the live stream, I'll show it to you guys. But this guy is freaking huge. I want to name him. I'm thinking of a name for him. I'm thinking of like BBC would be his initials, the big black cat. But I'm thinking of other names like Bubba, Papa, maybe Juba was another name that I came up with. But I also came up with the name Proximo from the guy in Gladiator. But this cat is freaking mean. He's very nice to me, but when the dog comes in, he'll chase the dog out. I've never seen a cat chase a dog out. This cat chased the damn dog out the room. I couldn't believe what I saw. The dog comes into my room. The cat chases the... I said, this cat's a warrior. Maybe I should call him like Zulu or something. But the lady at the shelter told me that these cats are really good outdoors. They're basically half wild feral cats. She told me that she's pretty certain that this black cat that I have is mixed with Maine Coon. And the Maine Coon cats, Maine Coon meaning the state of Maine, and Coon, Coon. It's the type of cat that was bred in the state of Maine. Maine Coon cats are supposedly very good at hunting, and they actually have above average intelligence, which means that they're going to know better not to go to the street. This is all wishful thinking and just researching, so I'm hoping that it's all true though, because I really want to get a cat outside because I really can't garden without a cat. Like, if you're gardening a lot of food, you're gonna want to get a cat because when you got beets growing and turnips growing and Swiss chard vegetables growing, predators are gonna come and eat your stuff. It's just mice, they're going to come and eat your stuff. It's an inevitable part of growing food. And so you could set out traps and do all those things, but that costs money and it's a pain in the ass. Or you can get yourself a cat that costs little to no money from some local shelter and train that cat to live with you and stay with you. And that cat will be literally your natural pest control for years. Like the black cat that was my original hunter, who's now retired. She was an excellent hunter. This cat, oh my god, I had no issues for years. Had no issues with rodents in my garden. Nothing. No rabbit bites, no mouse bites, no voles, moles, nothing. Once that cat retired, because she was too old, all the rodent problems started coming up. bites. Literally almost like overnight. Boom, 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 bites everywhere. So once I get this cat out, hopefully this will be my permanent insect, or not, my permanent rodent killer for years to come. So anyway, that's a good y'all's comments here. Calling it an execution isn't an insult. It's not like all executions are. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I love Southern chili fries. I love chili fries in general. I remember, I'm not sure if Carl's Jr. still does this. For those of you who don't know, Carl's Jr. is a fast food place in the United States. But Carl's Jr. used to sell chili cheese fries. Holy goodness. So delicious. Loaded nachos, absolutely. The Crusaders first sacked Zadar, also known as Zara, a Catholic city in Croatia. Hence, we can laugh together with our Greek brethren where Venice sinks. Last part of shocking. I didn't know about this, in all honesty. Thank you for letting me know. Herbs. My favorite food is boudin. Oh, boudin, the sausage, Louisiana sausage. Are you from Louisiana? Veni Vidi Vici. Hi, Ted. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good day too, Monkey Brain. You ever had pulled pork barbecue nachos? I have not, but that sounds really good. Freaking Indians are calling me up. I have some rosemary and oregano and habaneros. Oh, that's awesome, man. See, there you go. There's no excuse. You can still grow stuff even on a balcony. You can grow stuff. People say, well, what's the point of doing that? The point is that it's just a really good experience to grow your own food. Like, you don't even have to do it for survival. It's not even necessarily for survival. Like, I grow food, yeah, because it would help you. Like, for example, if there's an emergency situation where you have to stay indoors, it's like some national emergency where you can't leave your house or whatever, the garden is definitely going to help you. When I was locked down here in my house, man, I ate garden food every single day during the COVID lockdown. Every day I was eating garden food, fresh produce. Every day I was going out harvesting Swiss chard, peppers, eggplants. I was harvesting, what else was I harvesting? Tons of beets, turnips. I was pickling all the turnips and beets during the lockdown. It was awesome. I absolutely loved it. And I ate out of my garden every single day. And you know what? I felt better physically, and I lost so much weight at that time. It was ridiculous how much weight I lost. It's amazing how much weight you will lose just by eating garden food every day. Like, okay, what do we got for dinner today? Okay, you got Swiss chard. Okay, Swiss chard and rice. Okay, what do we got for dinner today? Oh, we got beets. Okay, put the beets in a pot. Add some broth. Add some turnips to it, some carrots. What else do we got? Okay, we got some eggplant. Okay, I was making, during the lockdown, there was this moment that lasted maybe a week or so, where I was just eating deep fried eggplant every day. Not every day, but for a few days. Okay, for a few days, to be conservative. Deep fried eggplant. Chinese style, which is delicious. Once I learned this Chinese recipe on how to fry eggplant, it was a game changer. So I'm like, man, now I know, because I was getting so much eggplant last year. Again, no rodent issues, because rodents will eat your eggplant. No rodent issues, had eggplant every single day, and it came to the point where I was like, I learned this Chinese recipe on how to deep fry eggplant, and I'm like, now I know what to do with eggplant every day, because it's simple. With the Chinese recipe, all you do is you take the eggplant and you just slice it into French fry shapes, and then you just take a little bit of cornstarch, or really any flour, mix it with a little bit of water, and then mix the sliced eggplant with that batter, with that cornstarch and a little bit of water batter. Just mix that up, and then get a really hot wok, add oil, and then just deep fry it. It doesn't take that long. Deep fry it until it turns golden brown. Remove it, drain out the oil, put it on a napkin, and just sprinkle a little salt on the deep fried eggplant. And then what you do is you make a sauce. Soy sauce. It's very simple. A little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of water, and a little bit of sugar. That's pretty much the sauce. You can add maybe a little oyster sauce, sesame seed oil if you want to, diversify the flavor or whatever. But really, the elemental ingredients for the sauce, soy sauce, maybe like 3 or 4 tablespoons, like a tablespoon or so of water, and then sugar to sweeten it up to balance out the saltiness of the soy sauce. And then you add a little bit of cornstarch to thicken it. And then you put that on the frying pan, or you just put the deep fried eggplant back into the wok, and you add that sauce, and you just mix it until it evenly coats it. Oh my God, with rice and a cold beer. I got to do a video on how to make that. I got to do a video one day on how I do the deep fried eggplant. It's so good. Local grocery stores have pots of it you can plant, provides a good amount. Yep, I've grown it in my garden. I think, oh yeah, excellent, awesome. There you go, man. The best way to get herbs is to grow it, not to buy it. Best way to get herbs, like oregano, you're not going to get a lot of oregano from a grocery store. You're going to get a few sprigs. But if you grow your own oregano, you can get basket loads of it in just a single harvest. We had a ladybug invasion a few years ago. Very good. Ladybugs are awesome. I think the word for ladybug in Russian is really amazing. I forgot what the Russian word is, but I read that if you translate it literally into English, it actually means God's cows, like cows from God, which is why would you call ladybugs God's cows? Maybe because the Russians were dealing with a horrible infestation and ladybugs came over and rescued them. Makes you wonder about like why so many cultures revere cats. Because if you have cats out on the farm, or if you have cats out in your garden, you're never going to have rodent issues. Literally, you will never have rodent issues because the cats are just amazing hunters. A cat can be lazy, sleeping on your bed all day. Right when you put him outside, the cat goes with little paws out because his instinct kicks right in. He's hardwired to kill mice and rodents. He's hardwired to be that way. So you're never going to have rodent issues. So I'm thinking, like, here you are, you're living in 3000 BC, and your crops are being destroyed by rodents. Your cornfields, your wheat fields, all your plants, everything's being destroyed by rodents. And you're like, man, what do we do? Get an army of cats. And before you know it, you unleash an army of cats on the farm, and you have zero rodent issues. This is why ancient cultures revered cats. From Japan to the Egyptians to the Russians, all these old cultures, all over the world, they revered cats because cats truly save people. If I had to choose, if I'm a farmer, if I had to choose an army of cats or an army of dogs, I'm choosing the army of cats. Plain and simple. Because dogs ain't going to do shit for you if you have a rodent infestation. They're not going to do anything. But if you have an army of cats, you're going to have your crop saved. Bottom line. Dogs have their own purpose, but cats have a very important purpose for human survival. You feel like Ted would not like reading Edgar Allan Poe, maybe except The Raven. I should try reading Edgar. I don't know, is that good stuff? I have a huge possum hanging around my backyard. I caught a small one the other day. Possums are different. Possums aren't going to really cause a huge problem for your garden. I've never had any possum issues, but man, I've had vole issues. Are awful. What's the name of the book about the Ustashi fascism? Robert who? Ustashi fascism. Which book is that? Robert, I don't even know. Are you talking about the book that I read on? Are you talking about the book that I read on fascism? I read a book on fascism. It was like the Anatomy of. Hold on, do that real quick. Anatomy of Fascism. Is that the book you're speaking of? Robert O. Paxton. I read a book called Fascism, The Anatomy of Fascism by Robert O. Paxton. I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about. Did you still have to feed the cat when it catches rodents? Yeah, you still fed it a little bit of food, but even if you feed a cat, it's still going to kill mice just for sport. A cat will kill mice for sport. They won't even eat it. I've never seen a cat kill a mouse. I haven't seen a cat kill a mouse, but I've seen dead mice. My original hunter cat, she used to kill rabbits, and she would eat them. She would eat rabbits. You still have to feed. Okay. Yeah, buying a tiger. So here's the thing about the the tiger thing or the rats, I was thinking like if voles and rodents could talk, what would they tell you? Be like, we were here before you. This is our land. Before you came in, our board, your concrete came with your hammers and jackhammers and killed our people. And then you bring animals that are not even native to this land, cats that kill our people. And I'll be like, Chief Vole, yeah, you're gonna die today. Yeah, meet Bubba. He's gonna kill you. Germany attempting to rewrite history. A ram? I don't know what you're talking about. Call it Goliath. Yes. What about T'Challa? Inbred cats are stronger. I didn't know that. Thoughts on Josh Duggar? Oh God, where do I start? So I always knew that the Duggars were a problem. Okay, I never watched the show until late 2014, the summer of 2014, when I saw a glimpse of it on the channel they were on. What was it? TLC. I saw it on the TLC channel, and as soon as I saw them, I didn't even know that was the Duggars. I'm like, who the hell's that family? And someone said, oh, it's the Duggars. That's mad. God, these people look scary. They look creepy. They look like garbage, these people. I don't like them. So I started researching them, and then I found out about the fact that they were a part of this cult. What's the name of that cult? Dang it, what was the name of that cult? The guy who ran it, I forgot the name of it, but it was this creepy cult. And the leader of this cult would sexually molest young girls. Like, no joke, this guy was a serial molester. He was horrible. So I always knew that these guys were bad news. The Duggar cult. Here it is. What's the name of the cult? They followed this guy. Yeah, it was called Basic Life Principles. Dang it, what was the name of this stupid cult? This demonic cult. It should be banned. Bill Gothard, that was his name. So they followed this guy named Bill Gothard. They still follow him. And this guy, Bill Gothard, is a molester. Like, there's so many letters from young girls saying that, talking about how Bill Gothard molested them. Like, touched them between their legs, touched their breasts, like really, really crazy stuff like that. And he was a molester. And no matter how many times the Duggars were warned about Bill Gothard, the Duggars wouldn't say anything. They really just didn't give a crap about this stuff. Same thing that goes on in the Catholic Church, it happens in the Protestant world as well. And they were following this cult, and so it doesn't surprise me that a family that follows a molester would have a molester in their own family. Just does not surprise me whatsoever. So in 2014, I did a video about the Gothards, and I also wrote an article about the Gothards, not the Gothards, the Duggars. I did a video and I did an article about the Duggars. And so many people hated me for this. This was back in 2014. So many people freaking hated me for this. They were talking about how dare I attack this wonderful family and this and that. And I told people, I said, the only reason why you're following the Duggars is because they are a clean-cut white Christian family. That is the only reason why people follow these people, because they're clean-cut. When the reality is that they're just white trash. I mean, have you ever seen white trash? Just watch cops. Go on YouTube and type in police officer arrest, domestic dispute, or you'll see white trash. And in America, there's plenty of white trash, just like there's plenty of black trash. There's plenty of Mexican trash, plenty of Jewish trash as well. Like, there's just trash, okay? And that's what the Duggars are. They are a good example of white trash. But there was just so much hatred that I received for writing that article about the Duggars and doing that video. And then I did another video, a follow-up video about the Duggars, in which I basically took like all the comments that I was getting and addressed a lot of them. I addressed a whole bunch of comments that I was getting. I responded to each one in the video. I yelled at a lot of people too. And then it was like a year or two later, it was found out that Josh Duggar was into sadomasochism. And I'm like, well, that doesn't surprise me at all. So then after that incident, I just didn't hear about the Duggars at all until now. And then, until the Duggar got arrested for child pornography, for possessing child porn. And then now it turns out that it's no longer just a charge. He's guilty. That's the reality right now. So I'm not surprised about this at all. I've always known since I saw them on TLM, or I forget whichever station they were on. Ever since I saw them on TV, I knew that they were bad news, and I warned people that these people were bad news, and I was right. That's just the bottom line. These people are sick. They're just sick people. There's a lot of this type of stuff in America. And I know people will say this happens everywhere, it happens all over the world. Sure, it does. You're right. But in America, there is a huge endemic problem with molesters masquerading themselves as religious people. They masquerade themselves with this excessive presence of religiosity, and it's disgusting. And there's so much of this that goes on. They're religious and this and that, and then you don't even know they got like bodies buried in the back. Like this has happened before, okay? And usually these types of people aren't murdering people, but they're doing really sick things. Like there's a lot of child abuse that goes on. There's a lot of sexual abuse that goes on in these types of families. Homeschooling families. I'll be honest with you. Maybe there's some homeschoolers listening to me right now, but man, there's a lot of red flags in homeschooling families. There's so much of that goes on. You got these homeschooling families, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, they're religious, and now they believe in God, and all this stuff." And we're homeschooling our family, we're homeschooling our children because we don't trust the public education system, because the public education system is liberal and all this stuff. And you'll find out that they're abusing their children. You find out that they're imprisoning the daughter, and they're not even letting her have an education. And she's so isolated from society that she can't have a proper conversation. I actually met a family like this. It was a traditionalist Catholic family. They were homeschooling your children, and what happened was they had 2 boys and 2 girls, if I remember correctly, and they had this one daughter, and she was 17 years old. And I asked one of the sons, I said, "Oh, what grade are you in?" He said, "Oh, I'm in the 7th grade or whatever." "What grade are you in?" "I'm in the 8th grade." And I looked at the girl and I said, "What grade are you in?" And she looks at me and she goes, and I'm like, "Hey, what grade are you in?" And she's like, and she started shaking her head like this. And I'm like, and I looked at the brothers and I said, "Is something wrong with her?" And then they said, "Well, she doesn't really go to school," or something like that. And I'm like, what kind of nonsense is this? In my opinion, that family needs to be investigated by the police, because they have a lot of the red flags of abuse, in all honesty. There's just, I don't believe in homeschooling. I think homeschooling is bullshit. I would never homeschool my kids. If I ever have kids, I would never homeschool them, ever. I think it's bullshit. I think kids need to go to school. They need to be with other kids. They need to learn how to socialize. They need to learn also how the world works. When you go to school, you are in a microcosm of the world. You're basically going to see all of the different types of humans in the real world. You're going to see the entire spectrum of humanity in public education. You're going to see the good, you're going to see the bad, and you're going to see the really bad. And that is important to know, because that is going to be a part of your life for the rest of your life. And it's so important to learn how to socialize in an environment, in an actual environment where there's other people who don't know you, who live different lives than you, who have different cultures, or they have different societal circumstances or whatnot, and all that stuff. It's very important. It's not good to keep the kids in the house all day and make them do their homework. That's just bullshit. And don't give me this nonsense about, "Oh, well, no, they're part of a co-op. They see other homeschooling children." That's bullshit. That's like saying, "Yeah, well, the kids just stay in church all day. Well, they got to be socialized." Well, they are socializing with other kids in the church. It's like, yeah, but you're only kind of seeing you're just around one type of culture all day. You're not seeing other types of people. You got to see the rest of the world. The rest of the world is not a homeschooling co-op. The rest of the world is people who do drugs, people who are deviant, people who are going to kick your freaking ass, people who are going to harass you, people who are going to try to steal from you. Like, you're going to see all that shit in public education. You're going to see girls that you like. You're going to see ugly girls that you have no interest in. You're going to get rejected by the girls that you like. That's reality. Like, go through it. You know what I mean? Go through it. That's just reality. Yeah, I think I think homeschooling is so freaking stupid. Like if I date a girl and she says, "Well, I want to homeschool my kids," I always tell them like, "Well, I would never do that." You know, that's bullshit. I used to think that homeschooling was a good idea until I actually met homeschoolers, and then I'm like, no, put an X around that one. So those are my thoughts on Josh Duggar. Cats scare away creepers, so you won't have to worry about your house blowing up. I work with a Protestant. He told me I shouldn't watch horror movies because it is a sin. I think your Protestant friend is full of shit for the most part. Name the cat Goro. Cats are definitely terrible. If the cat can find shelter by itself, why would it be loyal to you? Because I'm going to be its food source. Like, you can train a cat to stay on your property. I have a cat that's literally never left my house. You have to do it slowly. I think it's kind of shelter for it outside with food and water, and that way, like, it knows this is a place that's always going to have food and water, so it's always going to stay around there. But it doesn't always work, you know. It's always a gamble when you put a cat outside, but the benefit of having a cat outside is really, really good. So, best way to grow tomatoes. Don't ask me. I am the worst tomato grower ever. I have never had good luck with tomatoes. I think maybe it's the climate that I live in. I live in a climate that is, I don't know. I live in a climate that is warm most of the year, and then all of a sudden it gets like super cold and it goes up and down, and then we have really hot summers, and tomatoes don't really do good in really hot summers. So I don't know. I just never had good luck with them. Wait, you plant food? Yeah, I grow a lot of vegetables and things like that. Yeah. Did you hear about Finland's prime minister going to nightclubs? She's a 36-year-old wife and mother as well. I don't know. I did not hear about this. Let's look this up. Okay, hold on. Finnish prime minister. Let's look this up, guys. Finnish prime minister Sanna Marin. She's really young. How the hell do you elect somebody this young? The only reason why you would elect this girl is because she's good looking. That's the only reason why people would. Oh, I really like her policies. I like her policy. No, you like something else. We're not going to mention that here. After going to nightclub, I'm not even shocked. I've seen all sorts of crazy, weird behavior. She's a good looking woman. She got that Viking face. So I had a cousin who would go to nightclubs while she was married. And one time her and I were talking about it, and she's like, "Well, I like going to nightclubs." And I was like, "Aren't you married?" "Yeah, so?" I'm like, "Well, do you go with your husband?" "No." "You go by yourself?" "I go with my girlfriends." "Oh, wait, someone calling me. Hello? 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 No. Probably a call from New Delhi. So then she's like, "Yeah, I go by myself." And I'm like, I go with my girlfriends. And I was like, "Do you dance with men?" She's like, "Yeah." "Like random dudes?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, holy shit. She got upset with me because I told her, like, that's messed up. You shouldn't do that. She got upset with me about that. Can you survive entirely without supermarkets? Me personally, probably not. Because I still go buy meat and things like that. If I had to, like, I literally could not leave the house, I could probably survive for a good amount of time, but it would have to be like garden and then based on whatever food that I have been saving up. So, can one grow my favorite vegetable on my apartment balcony? Sure, you can. You got to raise a little piglet in your house. My survival plan. I mean, if you were like in the middle of the Balkan War, maybe. I mean, you were desperate enough. Put a pig in the apartment. I read this article. It was written by a guy. He was a Bosnian guy who survived the Yugoslav War. And he talked about how during the Yugoslav War, people literally just stayed home all day. Like, they didn't even leave. And they lived off whatever food they had in their houses. It's amazing that people had to do that, had to go through that. That's pretty amazing. My survival plan for apocalypse is plant food that grows underground, like potatoes, so that inexperienced people don't know you're growing it, so probably won't steal it from you. That's a good idea. Also, mousetraps and gutters. Well, I don't think I'm dealing with mice. I'm pretty sure I'm dealing with voles. Oh, for the meat. Oh, you want to eat mice. Okay. Yeah. You got to do what you got to do. What's the name of the book about the Ustash I already told you? It's called It's called The Anatomy of Fascism by Robert O. Paxton. Paxton is Paxton. Saint Gertrude of Nervilles is the patron saint of cats. Awesome. I will ask her for intercession. Man, hold on, something skipped over here. Ladybugs are a pest. These be species. How are they invasive? They don't destroy any sort of crops. Ladybugs only eat aphids. How they dogs have their place. They have their place. But if your entire wheat field is destroyed by rodents, or your cornfields are devastated by rodents, the dog is not going to help you. Michelle Pfeiffer was the best Catwoman. I don't watch that stuff. I don't give a crap about Catwoman. Batman is cool, but Catwoman, I've never been interested in it. There was that Batman film that was directed by I forget the name. Christopher Nolan directed it. It had Bane in it. That movie was really good, but what made that movie, like what the only thing that I did not like about the film, what really acted like a stain on the film was Catwoman. Because it's like here you have Bane and you got Batman, you got Commissioner Gordon. You're like, oh wow, this is really good. The music is there. It's like they're fighting in the streets. There's disorder and revolution. And you got the Scarecrow guy there. He's doing the mock trials, like French Revolution stuff. And you're like, wow, this is awesome. And then all of a sudden, this woman with freaking cat ears on her head is doing spinning hook kicks and spinning back kicks, and she's doing wrist lock Aikido moves on guys who are like quadruple her weight. I'm like, this girl looks like she just got out of the corporate Halloween party. It's just it's a stain on that movie. That's the only thing I don't like about that film. Other than that, I would give it a 10 out of 10. If you were in a survival situation when supermarkets are empty, would it starving people come steal from your garden? Sure they would, yeah. Sure they would. It would just be a disaster. You know, I garden for different reasons. I garden because I enjoy it. Even if there was no disaster, I would still garden. Like I started gardening in 2013. Okay, that was before COVID. That goes without saying. And I have fallen in love with gardening. I fall in love with it. There's a philosophical reason why I love it. There's a physical, biological reason why I love it, because I love eating fresh produce. I love how it makes my body feel when I eat fresh produce every day. I don't have to go to the grocery store and get a bunch of fresh produce and then stick it in my fridge, and then not know how am I going to cook all this fresh produce and before it all rots. With fresh produce, you kind of have to know what you're going to do with it, within a certain duration before it rots, especially if you're dealing with leafy green vegetables. With gardening, it's like you have so much food in your backyard. You just go out and pick it. It's really awesome. In a COVID type situation where the government forces you to stay home, gardening really, really was beneficial. But if we're talking like Book of Eli stuff, you know, we're talking apocalyptic situation. Sure, your garden's gonna get robbed. Sure, your house could get robbed. You know, who knows? In a scarcity, your garden is visible from the total people would steal your. Yeah, I know. You don't have to. Yeah, I agree with you. It's an obvious answer. Hello, Ricky Lee. But there's other reasons why. Am I in favor for a third dose? I guess. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Like if you're going to take a vaccine, if you're in a working environment where you're working with other people and you're working with children, that you probably should get vaccinated. Yes, and get your body the right immunity. Yeah. If you're like me and you just work at home, you don't really see a lot of people. It's not really that necessary. And then also you have the fact that I think what's happening with COVID is that it's adapting. It's adapting to the point where it's becoming more contagious, but it's not becoming more deadly. It's becoming more contagious and less deadly. Whereas before, it was quite contagious and it was quite deadly. But now it's just becoming more contagious without becoming more deadly. So, and I've read that this is a habit that a lot of viruses have where they just adapt to the point where, yeah, they can spread faster to different humans, but they just become less dangerous. And that's what's happening with COVID. So as it becomes less and less dangerous, then it just becomes the common cold at this point. So it's not really, it becomes less big of a deal, you know. But how much are certain people going to take advantage of it? How much are they going to milk this to put more laws out? I don't know. You know. That situation that happened with the fraud, Joel Osteen, sounded like something straight out of that show Ozark on Netflix with the money. And I never saw. I don't know what you're talking about. To be honest with you, what are you referring to? I'm sorry. We had our own version of those live cop shows in Croatia. Pure hilarity. I would love to see Croatian cops. I gotta find that. Can I find it on YouTube? Homeschoolers are always maladjusted, especially the lunatic cultist trads. They're freaking awful, those people. And their kids, I'm sorry, I hate to sound like such an elitist, but their kids always look filthy. Their kids always look filthy, and I noticed that the homeschooler children, when they were really young, they're constantly screaming. I don't know what this is, why this is, but I've seen this numerous times where they're like, "Rah!" and they're just like nonstop. Because I don't know. I don't want to come across as like judgmental and elitist, but it just seems like the case. Both of you have taught me so much. You touch people you will never know. God, thank you very much, Brainstorm. I appreciate that. Thoughts on the Catholic Pope getting shouted on by the Orthodox priest? I don't know. Did I see that? I don't know if I even saw that. The Prime Minister of Finland is good looking, though. What was she doing at a nightclub? Party at a Helsinki nightclub until the wee hour. To the wee hours. Whatever happened to getting a good night's rest? Sleep is overrated anyway. The Pope getting yelled at by an Orthodox priest. Hold on. Pope, Orthodox. I don't know. Is this in the news? Oh, Orthodox priest shouts, "Pope, you are a heretic." Oh yeah, I heard about this. Okay, so he called the Pope a heretic. What's he going to change? Nothing. He just gets good points from his Orthodox followers who think he's cool now. That's what did you get out of that? You know what I mean? You're a heretic. Okay, congratulations, boys. We just fixed the Vatican. I mean, you didn't do anything. You just get some good high fives from your friends. I follow you and your father since the late 2000s. I always has this impression that many people tend to use you guys for their own agenda. You're absolutely right about that. 100%. People have tried to use this for their own agenda. It is sad to say, but it is a fact. Tried to use us to get with the nationalism stuff. I remember back in 2014 when the whole 15 when the whole Pegida thing happened in Germany, and we had this German guy writing us, and he's like, Wally, did you hear about the rally that we had? We had the rally here in Germany, many rallies all across the country against the mass migration that's invading Germany. And we're like, oh wow, yeah. And he would like send us all this information, and then we would post up articles on Pegida. We were getting so many views from this, hundreds of thousands of views every day from posting about Pegida. It was amazing. And then I realized that it was like, wow, this Pegida stuff isn't exactly wholesome. And then I started writing stuff against the nationalism in Germany and exposing some of the stuff that was going on in Germany. And then this very guy's like, I cannot believe you are now writing these things. And I'm like, well, dude, if you want to have a little discussion on this on Skype, we could do it. And then he wrote us again. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't work with people anymore. I really don't. I don't. I don't want to do collaborations with people. I don't want to hire anybody ever again. I never want to hire anybody ever again. I honest to God, like I used to think, okay, I could eventually find someone to hire that would be a wholesome person that's going to have enough logic and sense to think like, hey, when I write an article, I should do research on what I'm actually writing on instead of just writing whatever comes out of my ass. Or, hey, I'm writing on a Christian themed website, and I should be respectful when it comes to things like Christianity and the Catholic Church, and I should be respectful to. I should have some kind of understanding for certain concepts like human compassion. But everyone that I have hired in the past had almost none of these traits. It was ridiculous. Like they would be okay in the beginning, and they just go right downhill. Yeah, and then I remember hiring this one guy years ago, and we were like, "Hey, just write articles for us." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He did really well for like the first year or two, and then all of a sudden, just went right down to bullshit and got lazy and stopped writing. And we're like, "Hey, you're not writing anymore. What's going on? You're writing like 1 to 2 posts a day. You should be writing like 4 or 5 posts a day." And it's like, "Well, my wife is home, and well, we don't care. It's not our problem. You gotta like write articles. We're paying you. That's what we're paying you for." And he eventually quit. He didn't like that. And then there was another time where some Jewish guy that I hired, we said, "Hey, write current events about Israel." And this guy starts writing articles saying why he doesn't want Christianity in Israel. And it's like, dude, that's not what I hired you for. I hired you to write on the news in Israel. Like simple. You know what I mean? You hire someone, hey, write news on it. This guy lived in Israel. So okay, you live in Israel, so you can write about Israel. You're somewhat aware as to the political atmosphere in that country. Like write about Israel. And this guy he couldn't do it. He just had to be an asshole, had to be a scoundrel. So he starts writing about how I don't want Christianity in Israel. And I'm like, listen, dude, I'm gonna let this one slide, but do not write about this stuff. I don't care about your theological opinions. Write about it. Write about the political situation in Israel, current events. That's all I'm asking you to do. Okay, fine. The next day, he does the same damn thing. I'm like, okay, you're fired. Goodbye. Yeah, and then there was the whole Andrew B. Azad situation. He wrote good stuff for a while. He did okay for a while. Then he just would do like stupid stuff. Like he wrote this one article saying that Justice Roberts was part of like went to Epstein's sex island or something like that. And I'm like, okay, what's your evidence for that? Well, there's a name on Epstein's book, and it's the same name as the Supreme Court Justice. And I'm like, that's not evidence. There's a million people named John Roberts. His name was Justice Roberts. It was like, I'm pretty sure his first name is John. Chief Justice Roberts. What's his first name? John. Yeah, John Roberts. I'm like, dude, you do realize that John Roberts is one of the most common names ever, right? That there's so many people in America named John Roberts. You cannot make this claim. It's like, okay, fine. What does he do? He does it again. It's like, dude, I told you not to do that. You know, it's like, you would. Like, I never want to hire anybody again, because when you hire somebody, you tell them, hey, when you write an article, have some sense. Okay, when you write an article, do research, read a freaking book, read a bunch of articles, take notes, take the time to read. I don't give a shit if it takes you 2 weeks. Take some time to actually do it. Most people don't have that sense. You know, most people don't have that sense. I just can't take it. I hate babysitting people. I don't want to babysit people. Okay, write articles. You end up babysitting people. It takes too much time. I don't want to do it. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I never want to work with people. I tried working with like other trad Catholics, and that was also bullshit. I tried to work with some trad Catholics in France, and it turned out these guys were Nazis. So I was like, you know what? F this. I'm out. Peace. I ain't gonna work with nobody ever again. I'm done with it. I am done with it. I'm done with the trad Catholic stuff. I'm done with the right wing stuff. I've never really met wholesome people in any of these movements. It's bullshit. I have no interest in it. I don't care. Everyone you meet, they're like, well, the Pope's a communist. And okay, the Pope's a communist. What's your freaking alternative? Well, what we got to do is we need a trad Catholic movement that's going to just usurp everything and this and that. Like, oh, okay, so how the hell are you going to get that accomplished? Well, we need to ask for the intervention of the Virgin Mary to do that. We're just going to pray the rosary every single day until this happens. And that's what we have to do, everybody. And the Holocaust didn't happen. Like, wait, what? The Holocaust didn't happen. That's right. And Hitler was a good Catholic. And I'm just like, what the, like, all my 1990s History Channel education is just going crazy right now. I'm like, I can't deal with this. Goodbye. Get the F out of here. I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to deal with Holocaust deniers. I don't want to deal with people who think the world is flat. I don't want to deal with people who think that children should just be at home all day and not actually like socialize themselves with other people. I don't want to deal with people who think that women should have long dresses on all day. I don't want to deal with that bullshit either. I think that's freaking retarded. Like, you should have long dresses all the time, long dresses. I met this one trad cat girl, and she's like, well, Pope Pius X said that the dress must be, and she actually gave me the measurements. Like, there's been some measurements that have been specified. And I'm like, even at that time, this was back in 2000 and, when was this? This was back in like 2016. And even at that time, I was like, that sounds a little bit too much for me. I'm sorry. That's no. Yeah, I don't care. Bro, shouting at Catholic clergy is a favorite pastime for like 35% of EO. I don't know what's EO clergy. I would love to shout at Catholic. I would love for Catholics to do that, not Orthodox. Orthodox people aren't going to make a difference if you're just shouting at them all the time. You're not going to make any difference because you're still considered to be outside of the church or whatever. Catholics need to be yelling at Catholic clergy. My grandpa finished 3 years of elementary school, and he turned out better than any person. I agree. I believe you. I totally believe you. Those old timers who had no education, they had more sense. Yeah, but I'm pretty certain that your grandpa had social skills. Come on. Did he grow up in a village? He hung out with people. He had social skills. Give me a break. And yet you said you're afraid to leave your house? What are you talking about? Be specific. What context are you talking about here? Yeah, you should be socialized. So, okay. So there's a difference between saying, I don't like dealing with people because I know people are freaking weirdos, and I'm just going to isolate everyone from the world. Like, there's a difference. I wasn't isolated from the world. Therefore, I know that the world is freaking messed up. But do I want to isolate my kids so that they never get socialized, so that they don't meet people that they may like, they may become friends with, or that they don't meet people who are not really good, but they never have any experience on how to deal with them? Like, I would much rather have them have those experiences. That doesn't mean you have to leave your freaking house. Like, when you're an adult, it just means that you need to have an understanding as how the world works. When you homeschool your kid all day, your kid is not very sociable. Like, I had not met a homeschooler that had good social skills. I just haven't met them. You need to have good social skills. Just because you stay home, like, hey, I prefer to stay home. I live a simple life. Like, with me, yeah, I prefer to stay home, have a simple life. I like to garden, things like that. But that's different from, I'm just going to isolate everyone and keep them at home all day to the point where they're just like antisocial or they're socially awkward. Like, that's not good. If you're going to live in your house, do it by choice, not because your parents are like keeping you from going to school. Like, I'm talking about education. I'm talking about school. I'm not talking about when you're an adult and you've been through it all, or you've been through, you've had some kind of social past, and you've dealt with different types of people, and you're doing it by choice. I'm not talking about that. Two different things. Okay. Thoughts on Pope Mobile converted to greenhouse? I've never heard of that before. Except perhaps, I guess it's communism. I don't know. Except perhaps for old lady Yuba, may she rest in peace, who had no education. Every homeschooling family I ever met were full of weirdos. Every homeschooling family. Matthew James B, you want to do a debate? All right, buddy. Let me get on. Hold on. Every life is important. Matthew James B. Okay, Matthew James B wants to do a debate. Let me hold on a second here. Let me get on. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it on StreamYard real quick. All life is important. Okay. Can I connect? Okay, Matthew B, let me know when you're ready to go, and I'll give you a link. Okay, Matt? I'm waiting here. This guy wants to debate on the death penalty or something. Well, I'm going to be waiting here, Mr. Matthew B. Where are you? Come on. Or are you just full of shit? Anyway, I'm going to answer your guys' questions as we wait for this guy. Not even show up. Turkey is selling their Bayraktar drones. Yep, I know. They've been selling them to everybody who wants to buy them. Russian forces are amassing on the Ukrainian border again. Yep, I know. Who knows what's going to happen? Probably nothing. Sure, man. Chopa, I really appreciate that. You can give me the cop videos from Croatia. Let's see here. Invasive means they are not a local variant, and they do eat plants and. Wait, ladybugs don't eat plants? Ladybugs eat other aphids. I've never heard of ladybugs eating plants. Best way to grow potatoes? I've never had good luck growing potatoes. I think with growing potatoes, you got to have a lot of space. I'm waiting for this Matthew James guy to pop up, but he's not showing up, so I guess he's gone or just full of shit. I know cat capitalism. Here we go. The audio is uncomfortable. Hold on a second. How about now? Are we good? Is the audio better? Yep, pretty much, man. I've never had good luck with tomatoes nor potatoes. I don't know why. I was hoping to have a debate. This James guy is not here. They released a pedo even after he said he can't control himself. Canada freaking sucks. That's they suck. Audio's good. Matthew, I'm waiting, dude. Where the hell are you? Let me know right now. Let me know right now. I want to do the debate here. I need to set up a StreamYard. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see here. I guess this guy's not showing up. Here we go. Okay, so in order for me to StreamYard the debate, Mr. whatever the hell your name is, I need to know that you're like available right now because I'm not seeing you. So once you tell me you're available, then I'm going to set one up right now. I'm going to put a link. You can click on it, and you can tell me about how wrong I am about the death penalty. But until then, I don't see you. So if there was ever a chance for an African country to become a decent developed country, which would you say would be? Probably Ethiopia. I don't know. Egypt. Egypt probably is the best country in Africa. I don't know. Egypt's not really Africa. Probably, I don't know. Probably Ethiopia. I'm not sure. Looks like this guy's a no-show. He doesn't realize, like, when people comment on here, I don't read your comments immediately. Like, I'm trying to read each comment as I go. I try to answer all of your guys' comments and questions as best as I can. Congratulations, Mr. Shackleford, for finishing your school. Best way to grow tomatoes is to live in the Mediterranean region. Yep. Plant a tomato. Feed tomatoes to a pig. Oh, eat pig instead. What do you think of the Shin Megami Tensei series? I don't know what that is. Homeschooling, in my opinion, are the result of unreasonable distrust from insane control freak. Yep, I 100% agree. All life is important, not just good people. Oh my god, not just good people. Sorry, if somebody's a rapist or they're like cutting people up to pieces and eating them, I don't really see them as important. No, don't give a shit about them. I'm pretty sure all reasonable people would agree with me there. Theo is crying for an argument, but won't watch Bill Gates say world population needs to come down. When did I ever support Bill Gates? When did that ever happen? I don't know. Exactly, Shackleford. Exactly. Heather Green. If I had $1 for every time you brought up Heather, you brought up Brendan O'Connell, I would probably have enough money to buy a really good meal. I said the vaccine is good. I said if you live amongst people, if you work amongst a lot of people, and you have people all around you, you should probably get vaccinated. I don't know what the hell that has to do with like lowering the population, because billions of people have been vaccinated. I don't see billions of people dropping dead from this. So I don't know where the connection is. I know that Bill Gates does believe in population control, but I'm not really seeing the connection. Do you believe in God? Yes. For my little half-sister's homeschooling, I bought all volumes of the Gulag Archipelago. You can do that even when you're taking public education. Okay. So how does the vaccine lead to lower population? You still haven't made that connection yet. My favorite is Jordan Maxwell. What the hell? Dude, you know Jordan Maxwell is like into some weird occultic stuff, right? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? I have no idea, dude. Time will tell. Oh, you're being sarcastic. Oh, thank God. Rwanda is doing pretty well. Oh, that's cool. What about private school instead public school? I agree homeschooling is toxic, but public school is garbage too. Private school keeps kids safe and lets them grow. Private school, I think, is okay because you still get the same sort of socialization with other people. But homeschooling, I think, is just bullshit. Death penalty are indeed a justified deterrent. I mean, it's not just the deterrent. It's like we live in a society, right? We live in a community. We as a community have to abide by certain rules, and we have to honor the rights of other people. If we dishonor the right to life to the point where we kill another person, you have forfeited. I think it's safe to say that you have forfeited your own right to life as well. Theo, would you ever move to Taiwan? No. Nope, don't care about going to Asia. It's a good slow day today. Not bad. Hoping for a debate, but I'm not seeing Mr. James or whatever the hell his name is. I'm eating Swiss chard leaves. Mikhail Mikhovich is calling me. Hold on. Let me give you a call back, okay? Let me give you a call back on. Let me change the sound settings here. Oh, no need to? Okay, no. Your pasta looks good, by the way. Oh, okay. Where's the guy who thinks that if you murdered 1 million grandmothers, you should be spared? Do you eat the soft, soggy fries at the bottom of the fry basket? Absolutely. I don't waste food. I've been here for over an hour, so hold on. Let me get something to drink real quick. Hold on. Oy vey. Yep, got my beer. Today we're going to the Colorado mountains. We got the Coors Banquet. I don't know if the camera's focusing on that one. Ooh. So where's this guy? That was the first beer I had ever. Yeah, it's very good. The first beer that I myself drank was Jungling. Oh God, here we go with the death penalty stuff. International hustler. Do you want to get on and have a discussion so we can sort out our differences, my friend? The death penalty is so evil, guys. It's so evil. Oh my God, it's so evil. It's so evil. This guy murdered like 20 women and we're going to kill him? Whew. Evil. Fascism. Genocide. Where are the rights of serial killers? We need to defend the rights of serial killers, guys. This is a cause that I feel so proud about. I have within my soul, within the depths of my soul, to defend serial killers. Every night I have difficulty sleeping. Thinking that they are men who have murdered innocent people, who know they're going to be facing death. That, my friend, is a cause that I care about. Not the unborn. No. Forget those people. My deepest passion are those serial killers. I'm so worried about them. But I don't want to see them die. I just don't want to see them die. International hustler. Do you want to hustle yourself up over here? Do you want to hustle yourself for a debate, my friend? Or are you just going to talk on the text all day? People who are against execution should be forced to spend a day or two with people on death row. I think they should be in a room with a cannibal. And I'm not talking like an African cannibal. I mean like a real white cannibal from America. A white American cannibal who ate his dad. Like that type of shit. I want you to be in a room with that dude for 1 night, 2 nights. 2 nights! Let's see how much sleep you get. The death penalty is the right of the state to make war against the most. Absolutely. People don't realize this. It's you versus the state. That's why you'll read like Brown versus the state of Alabama. You'll read all sorts of court cases like this. Because literally it's you against the state. So if you murder people, the state is going to come after you because it is the state's job to watch after its subjects. Simple as that. It's a simple concept. It's not difficult to comprehend. There was literally a guy who murdered his father and ate his brain. That happened here in the United States. I'm not sure if you guys in Croatia or wherever have people like that, but holy shit, we have some serious psychopaths in America. What else is going on? Yeah, I love it how people who are against capital punishment are the ones that use it the most when they get in office. International hustler. That sounds like a rap song. I'm international hustling, international hustle, international hustle, international hustle. And the beat comes up. I'm international hustling, international hustling, international hustling. People don't read their Bible. No, they don't read their Bible. No, they want to use the Bible for whatever weird reason they have. My grandfather's dad and uncle were given the death penalty along with every grown man in Cloville because some heroic anti-fascist partisan decided to kill an Italian couple. Okay, we're not talking about that. We're talking about like serial killers here. We're not talking about something that happened in the Second World War when anti-partisans and partisans were being killed. Totally different period. In those days, if you saved a Jew's life from the death camp, they'd kill you. Okay, we're not talking about that. We're talking about serial killers here, boy. We ain't talking about some nice Eastern European guy who saved his Jewish neighbor. We're not talking about that. Okay, we're not talking about. I'm trying to think of a Polish name. Too many Z's, too many S's, too many Z's. Or we're talking about like Slavo Jlugla Dobra rescuing his neighbor. We're not talking about that. We're talking about like Billy Bundy who murdered 30 people. It's a different thing. Do you prefer to live in the city, suburbs, or rural? Rural, definitely. Where is that written? Okay, I just like straw manning my dude. Oh, you like straw man? Oh, is that what you're doing? Or you're trying to troll me, right? We're not talking about the pianist, okay? We're not talking about like Schindler's List days. We're talking about people who don't deserve to live. My daughter is sleeping next to me, but I would slap Theo on death penalty. Well, I haven't seen any good arguments from you, and please, come on then, debate me. I'll form a little StreamYard thing. We'll do it. Or I'll just put my iMovie thing on. I'll just record it from here, and we'll just do it that way. How about that? Of course, you know what? Because my daughter's sleeping. Yo, I can't. Yo, man, I can't debate, but I'll slap the hell out of you, man. International hustler. I'm international hustling. Don't you know some crazy dictator executed an innocent person 50 years ago in Cambodia, so that's why it's evil? Yeah, I know. Time to inject international hustler. I'll be honest with you, man. Cat capitalism. We may disagree, but I'll give it to him. I said, let's debate. Cat capitalism didn't waste time. He said, let's do it right now. He said, cool. I said, cool. We did the debate. We disagreed with each other, but we did it. International hustling. He's like, yo, man, my daughter be sleeping, yo, but I smack you right upside the head, man. Please. I've been debating since I was in junior high. Don't think I haven't heard no excuses before. How convenient they make an excuse. Yep, I know, always. My daughter be sleeping, yo. My daughter be sleeping. You can't go to the bathroom and have a debate? International hustler. You don't have an office? Yo, hustler better have an office. I'm going to talk to you like an East Coast black guy. Officer better have a, listen, hustler better have an office. If you don't got an office, man, how much you hustling? You on that grind, yo? Are you on that grind, yo? How much you hustling, yo? You ain't got an office. Businessman, proper businessman, gotta have an office. My daughter ate my homework. Oh, we're still with the fava beans and Chianti meme? Please, no, let's not do it. If someone murdered your baby, you defend their life. It's evil to kill people. This is childish. Heather Green, are you Heather? You talked shit about me for months and I let it go, and then I debated you and made you look pretty freaking childish. So if you want to call me childish, I must say, Madame Green, thou shalt not throw stones upon glass houses, Madame Green. Please contemplate on the truth that I have bequeathed upon you as you sit in your estate in the countryside of North Carolina or wherever you live. I bet it's not his daughter. International hustling. I'm not a chat. I just try to be funny. My daughter started the whole independent state. Yo, it wasn't me. I swear, yo, homie. Yo, a proper hustler gotta have an office. If you don't got an office, man, you ain't on that grind, yo. Do you have your phone on 24/7? How do you know when that coin gonna come? It's gonna give you that good deal where you're gonna make some good money. How do you know that, yo? If you ain't on that grind, if you ain't about that life, yo. Anyone who calls himself an international hustler gotta have an office with a proper phone, with a proper fax machine, with a speakerphone, with a scanner, proper cell phone, yo, proper recording system. Ain't no international hustler, yo. Where's your office, yo? Where's your office? In the East Coast, that's how black people talk. When they talk, they don't say office. Or is it English? Office. They say, where's your office? Where's your office, man? Ain't got no office. I don't see no office up on that, man. You ain't making proper money unless you're documenting your expenses. You're not documenting your accounts receivable. Where's your accounts receivable? Calm down. Y'all beta. Oh, let's see. Beta. Y'all beta. Beta, yo. I'm a beta, but I'm going to talk a bunch of stuff, but then I'm not going to actually do it when the guy said, let's do a debate. Nah, y'all beta, yo. Y'all beta. Beta. Just like when you punch the bully in the face, and then next time he's like, Yo, man, he was a bitch, man. He just overreacted, yo. Who got punched in the face? Who got smacked and didn't do shit? I had a situation like that when I was in junior high. I had a bully who put my backpack in the freaking toilet, and I punched the guy in the face, and he literally, like, what happened was when I confronted him, he grabbed my shirt, my glasses fell off. I punched him in the face. He steps on my glasses and runs away. The guy literally just stepped on my glasses, ran away, just sprinted off. So I get suspended for a week, right? And then he comes out and he's like, "Yo, Ted was a bitch, man. Like what he did, man, it's just a bitch thing to do." And I'm just like, "Who got punched in the face and ran away?" International hustler, yo. You gotta have them wall clocks on the wall to know what time it is in Hong Kong, to know what time it is in Beijing, to know what time it is in Tokyo, to know what time it is in Bangkok, to know what time it is in Prague, to know what time it is in Berlin, to know what time it is in London, to know what time it is in Buda, Norway, to know what time it is in Sydney, to know what time it is in Queensland, to know what time it is in New York City, to know what time it is in San Francisco, to know what time it is in Los Angeles. You gotta know what time it is in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. You gotta know what time it is in Baghdad, yo. You gotta know what time it is all over the world because you don't know where the deal's gonna come from, yo. If your potential clients are businessmen in Hong Kong, you gotta know what time over there in Hong Kong. Don't be some punk. Don't be some simp looking at your cell phone trying to find out what time it is in Hong Kong, yo. You better be finding out what time it is over there, yo, because they gonna make you money, yo. That's how you make your money. That's how you make your money. The Coors is kicking in. Oh, absolutely, my friend. That's lubricant for the brain. The brain is a muscle. Sometimes you got to lubricate it. Got to lubricate that muscle, yo. Got to lubricate that muscle. I would enjoy this Swiss chard, but every time I chew on it, I get like self-conscientious because I'm talking in front of a microphone which is so sensitive to noise. It's going to pick up every little bite, so I'll spare you guys that nonsense. So who else on this chat is full of shit? We had this Brian, whatever, James guy, Mr. Death Penalty Saver or whatever, and now we have Mr. International Hustler. So who else is full of shit? Who else? Most people are full of shit. One thing my father told me when I was a very young child, he says, "Ted, 99% of the people that you will meet in your life are going to be full of shit." And he was absolutely right. Most people are just absolutely full of shit. International Hustler. International Hustler, Heather Green. I thought you said this was childish. Why you here, Heather Green? I still see your Heather. I still see your green profile, Heather Green. Why are you still here? This is just childish, man. This is childish, man. Why don't you go listen to your friend? Go listen to your friend over there, Mr. Crossdresser, Mr. Brennan O'Connell. Why don't you go listen to your friend over there? Go listen to your cross-dressing friend, Mr. Heather Green, or Miss Heather Green. Sorry, I just misgendered you. Forgive me. Why don't you go listen to your cross-dressing friend and your little psychopath friend that you listen to? I forget his name, whatever his name is, or Jacobly or whatever his name is. What kind of harem is this, Ted? It's exactly what it is. And you know, as an Eastern European person, you know this is true. Which season do you prefer the most, winter or summer? Winter, definitely. I just declared open war on Heather Green now. She will sit there and be like, "This is childish." I'm like, "Why are you still here? Go back and listen to your cross-dressing friend. Go listen to your friend Jacobly. And why are you here? Why are you here? Why? You're obsessed with me." Heather Green is obsessed. I've confirmed it. I've confirmed it. This woman is obsessed with me. Hey, nothing to be ashamed about. I've had that effect on certain ladies in my life. Look at me. I look like Aladdin, for crying out loud. She's obsessed with me. I don't know what else to. How? If I hated a woman, right? If there was a woman that I disliked, I wouldn't listen to her. But if I'm like on her chat, commenting, arguing, writing this, that, writing, I'm like, methinks this person protests a little too much, don't you think? Heather, she's obsessed with me. Heather and Theo, a couple in love. When they marry, a donkey will be playing a song for them. Oh, God, what a nightmare. Come on, you know she's probably secretly has the hot. I mean, it's like she's obsessed with me. I don't know. I don't care. I can show you the world. I just come here to add my 2 cents. You add more than your 2 cents. You add like $50. Oh, you like older dudes? You like old saggy skin? I see. I remember your dad asking about where to send the dollars. Header ETO. Oh, I see. You're doing the Croatian wives nursery thing. $30 million. That's right, Heather, like grandpa. I'm 31 years old. Yeah, female orbiter. I'll drink to that one. I mean, it's just been my experience in life when a woman like nonstop talks to you or writing you, and she claims to not like you, or she claims to be against you in some way. Those women usually those women, they're the ones who have a crush on you. Now, the ones who do not like you are the ones who never talk to you. They never talk to you. They never look at you. They don't give you the time of day. Those women, yeah, they'll never go with them. Let's not make the lady cry. We're not going to make anybody cry in here, okay? I'm just saying. If somebody calls me childish when they looked very childish in a debate, I just say, do not throw stones at another house, please. Bottle is better than a can. Yeah, you're right, but a can is cheaper. Oh God. I wasn't expecting anybody to come up on this chat because I was like 2 hours late. So I'm like, ain't no one going to come up on here. But I'm surprised you guys are coming in with a good amount of energy. Here, I'm going to do a very Mediterranean thing right now. I'm going to get this Swiss chard, which is drenched in olive oil. I'm going to put it in bread right here. Very Mediterranean thing to do. Oh. I thought rescue Christians. So basically what happened with that is we did have a contact in Pakistan and all that, but it just stopped because somebody in the operation was doing something they shouldn't have been doing. They were doing the guy that we were working with in Pakistan, he what's the word? He embezzled a YMCA. Okay. So we stopped working with them. So we stopped doing projects in Pakistan. We started doing projects in Mexico. And we did projects in Mexico for a number of years. And then our contact in Mexico was a Catholic priest who put some pro-LGBT stuff on his Facebook page. And we're like, hey, that's not cool. We're not going to work with you if you do that. And he's like, well, I'm not going to stop. And I'm like, okay, goodbye. So that's what happened. We have been trying to help some people in Nigeria, but that's kind of pending right now because we still need some more documentation to see if the case will be legitimate. Yeah, Keith Davies was working with the dude in Pakistan who did that. Yes. And then we had a fallout with Keith, and a very long story. Do you think Erdogan will really be able to survive the Ottoman Empire? Maybe not Erdogan, but somebody like him. I think the empire is reviving as we speak. Who has any good movie recommendations? Watched Schindler's List last weekend and loved Saving Private Ryan. If you haven't seen Black Hawk Down, I'll give that a try. An amazing film. You gotta check out the Police Patrol? Of course I will. Eventually, after this thing is done. I can't do screen sharing right now because I'm not on StreamYard. I had to cancel my StreamYard schedule, and then I just did it cold turkey on here. So I don't think I can do screen sharing on here. Saving Ryan Privates? Saving Ryan's Privates? That's not funny, dude. It's not funny. Oh, you have no sense of humor. Apparently your jokes suck, so I don't find it really funny. Watching from Cape Town, South Africa. Addicted to your channel. Unfortunately, it's 3 a.m. over. Oh, it's too bad, man. But good luck over there in South Africa. I know South Africa really sucks. What do you hope happens in the next 10 years? I hope I can get rid of my mouse problem. That's one thing I hope for. Got my tickets for The Matrix. Oh, I hope you enjoy it, man. They have been playing trailers for the new Matrix movies, and I swear they're revealing way too much in these trailers. I'm like, there better be a serious plot twist, and these trailers better be deceiving us because, oh my god. If these trailers are what they present themselves as, they're revealing way too much. Why are they making a new Matrix? It's very simple. Because Keanu Reeves has recently had a revival in his career thanks to John Wick. So the Wachowski freaks who made the Matrix see this and they say, hey, get that guy back here. We need to make another Matrix movie with the John Wick look. And that's just bank on John Wick. That's what's happening. It's very obvious. And Heather Green is back. What can I say? I have this effect on women. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Who do you think will win the 2024 election? I don't know. I don't think it. So far, it doesn't look good for Democrats because so many people hate Joe Biden. Yeah, don't watch the trailers. Oh my god, I had to turn one off because I'm like, this is revealing way too much. I can't watch this. The Matrix thing reminded me. Did you ever play the original Deus Ex? I think this is too much for you. I don't know. This seems to be too much for you. The magnetic power is just tremendous. So much magnetic power in the stream. They don't stop coming. You know what I mean? Serious power here, guys. What happened to this moron who wanted to debate me on the death penalty? This Matthew guy. Where are you, Matthew? I'm waiting for you. I can't do a live stream unless you tell me no right now. That way I can get the link up and ready to go. I just can't do it unless. So. But you're gone, so I can't do it. Didn't hear what you said. Your connection cut out. Oh shit. My internet working? My internet's working fine. My internet's working fine. I said that Heather Green wants to talk to capitalism because capitalism actually debated me. Yeah. They're uniting its forces against me now. This is the Heather Green it's the Protestant Eastern Orthodox Alliance. Don't you see what's going on, everybody? It's the Protestant Eastern Orthodox Alliance against the Catholic power, against the Holy Roman Empire. We have the Countess Heather Green and Captain Capitalism from the Byzantine Greek Roman Empire of the United States, and there's an alliance forming against me right now. I need to make an alliance with Croatia. Chopo, you are my Croatian representative. We must make an alliance. I must make a Middle Eastern, Catholic, Croatian, a Balkan Middle Eastern alliance. We must join forces against this evil alliance against me. We have to do this, guys. This is dangerous. We have the North Carolina Protestant Eastern European, North Carolina Protestant North American Orthodox Alliance against the Catholic Middle Eastern region of Tedland. And hopefully I can make an alliance with Croatia to help me fight against North Carolina and the Eastern Orthodox power of American Byzantium. How much until they start with their good old better the Sultan turban and the Well, it's happening right now. We're about to see an Orthodox Protestant alliance, so it's actually happening, guys. We're seeing it. Protestant Orthodox alliance against the Vatican. We are seeing the beginning, everybody. The seeds of evil are germinating. Sounds like a game of Risk. Heather Green debated me. I had the camera recording her the whole time, and she didn't know. And I'm like, hey, Heather, you want to debate me? Here we go. I got it all on recording. You want to call me a moron or whatever and childish and this? Okay, here's a debate. Here's how smart you are, Heather. Oh my God, Kat. The Byzantine Empire is telling me right now that they're shivering. This is a propaganda scheme to make me think that they're scared. It's a trap. I must have an alliance with Croatia to defeat them in the battle over the Mississippi River. This is very serious, guys, because we have to expand Catholicism in America and make America a subject of the papacy. I am actually a Vatican agent. Now, your big yellow shirt, how big is your shirt? You're like triple large? What is this? She also paused like 2 minutes in between answers. She wants to talk about things not related to the debate. Oh, okay. I got FU money and my house is paid off. That's my fortress of fortune. Looks like the drugs are finally kicking in, guys. No one's talking about your house. You were just talking about Catholic war on the brink. But now we're talking about money and a house. It sounds like you guys are about to lose the war if you're changing the subject already. Oh my God. No one's talking about your house, man. Looks like it's I kind of hidden insecurity there, I guess. Make America subject of Croatia. Yes, we must establish the Balkan Middle Eastern alliance. Hopefully we can get Serbia involved, and Serbia and Croatia will form an alliance against this evil. I think we can solve the drug crisis in America by following Portugal's. Oh no, now we're talking about drugs. Isn't your daughter sleeping, yo? You should be responsible enough. Get to bed early. A hustler goes to bed early, wakes up at 4 a.m. to make them deals, to make that paper, yo. Do you consider the book of Enoch as part of the Bible? Nope, I do not. Did Kat and Heather are having a debate? No, they're trying to form an alliance against me. Well, at least Heather is just trying to form an alliance. Are we gonna have a debate on whether or not wheelchair man deserves to get shot? Because I'll have that debate with anybody. I don't give a shit. Wheelchair man deserves to get shot. Why is the book of Enoch not part of the Bible? Because it wasn't chosen. I'm not living in the 4th century, so the crown of Timitar Zvonimir shall reign supreme. Wasn't there an ancient Croatian king? I forget his name, but he's like super famous. They talk about him in Croatia all the time. Famous Croatian king. Hold up. Tomislav. Is that who you're talking about? I have no goals of an alliance. I just want to talk. That's what they always say before they try to do an ambush attack on you. No wheelchairman armed with tiny knife and was crippled. Shooting him was wrong. Okay, let's have a debate about it, dude. Let's have an audible debate about it, not this typing crap. I don't give a shit. The only reason why you feel sorry for that guy is because he's on a wheelchair. Or you're against the death penalty, so I guess you'll feel sorry for anybody shot by the cops. What's your take on Cardinal George Pell? Yeah, I don't like him. I think that he's full of shit. I heard that he was covering up for pedophiles in the Catholic Church. I think he's a fucking. Oh, I said a bad word. Sorry. I think he's an asshole. Anything else interesting that you guys have to tell me? He was found guilty at trial but acquitted. Yeah, I know. I know, acquitted, but I don't know. I think there's something questionable about that guy because I heard that he truly, truly hid pedophiles. What is your opinion on Jared Taylor? I think he is a racist, and he also believes in eugenics. He believes in eugenics, and he has made his eugenic beliefs very obvious. So I don't like him. I think he's evil. Killed by his people when he called them to go to crusades and cursed the Croats to be ruled by. Many people only make these allegations of rape, of sexual assault, only 20 years later. Yeah, but the fact is that there was mom and a dad who went to Cardinal Pell and they're like, listen, this girl, our daughter, who's in your diocese, was raped by this priest, and he didn't do shit about it. That's what I heard. He didn't do shit about it. There's records that talk about this. So, what do you think about U.S. diplomatic boycott of Olympics? Francis Macron says it's meaningless. I agree. Sounds meaningless. I don't know. Diplomatic boycott of Olympics. Are the Olympics getting boycotted? What? I don't. There's so many things that happen in the news that I don't read about. Olympics boycotted. Diplomatic boycott of the Beijing Olympics. Sounds like bullshit. Sounds like something completely stupid. Okay, but I'm not talking about some woman who accuses some super famous guy. I'm talking about a situation where someone actually went to Pell and said, our daughter was raped, and he did not do shit about it. That is what I'm talking about. Macron is meaningless, pretty much. Yeah, I would agree. Do you believe in the Great Replacement? No. Europe is importing migrants to be cheap labor. That's what's happening. Europe is not having a childbirth rate that is able to grow to replacement numbers. So all of these migrants who have more children for labor. This is for better labor to fill in the gaps that the Europeans are leaving out due to their lack of reproduction. Also, like people hire people from different countries. Like, all these different things happen. To call that the Great Replacement, the idea of the Great Replacement was coined by some homosexual nationalist. I wouldn't put too much weight on it. Who think that living in their own country of origin is the best, taking into account how many ethnic groups face. I think if people want to live in their country of origin, that's completely cool. That's up to them. I don't care. And I was waking in a state park. I saw a sign that said, "Don't feed or molest the alligators." Some priests can be really scummy. Oh, absolutely. Do you believe that IQ is genetic only, environment only, or both? I honestly haven't studied this issue too much, but I think that intelligence, it doesn't necessarily have to do with race. It could be genetic, and I think it's a mixture of your temperament and upbringing. I'm not entirely sure. I have to study it more. But I'm not going to say that like if you're black, that automatically means you're of lower intelligence. I'm not going to say that because there are black people who are more intelligent than most human beings on Earth, and there are white people who are stupid as rocks. So I hate this idea of like saying, well, black people, generally speaking, have this intelligence. Like I don't like. I like to judge people based on I like to judge people individually, as opposed to just taking like a huge generalization on a group of people. It just not very good. I know there are people who adhere to this theory. If you look at people like what's his face? What's his name? The black guy who was running for president. He was a surgeon. Dang it, I always forget this guy's name. Um, there's Keith Black. Yeah, Keith Black, famous neurosurgeon. Oh, what's his name? Ben Carson. Ben Carson. He's a brilliant, brilliant man. He's more intelligent than most people on Earth, and he's not. He's black. So I just don't really buy into this. Ben Carson, yeah. I don't know who's more hilarious, this guy or Drake. Um, I don't know who's more hilarious, Heather Green or Cat Capitalism. They both suck at debating, so I don't know which one sucks the most. That's the question that I have. Difference in skull shape. There are differences in skull shape. What's the point? Yeah, he grew up in Detroit. He grew up in a very very black area, and regardless of all that, he was very intelligent. He still is very intelligent. But this whole idea of like, well, people are this IQ, yada yada yada. This is very very dangerous rhetoric, and the reason why I say that is because it can have serious repercussions in how we hold policy. That's if such an idea becomes popular enough and enough people believe it. And so, if you think that black people are a certain way solely because of their genetics, then what's not to say that people could then begin to market certain services to remove certain people or prevent certain people from being born because we don't want to contaminate the gene pool. It's just very weird things like that. I believe IQ theory and it's true, but I don't think it's because of eugenic reasons. I think it's just because of so you know my position on this already. It's going to take a while for me to explain it, but basically Ham's Shem and Japheth, the sons of Noah. Ham has his own role, and that role necessarily to build. I think that by his brothers, and is that happening? It is, but probably not to an adequate level. I'm not saying that you said that. I'm just saying what other people are saying. Are you Chinese, by the way, Jojo? Thoughts on Kanye West? I think that he is kind of a maniac. Theo, why is, though, that the winter the country the safer, richer, and cleaner? That the wider the country, I say said the winter the country, the wider the country, the safer, richer, and cleaner it must be. You could say that it's genetics. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't really studied the science, but I think that it's because of the role of Japheth. Japheth has this civilizational role, so Japhethites are going to be better at maintaining society. Ham is meant to be a worker. It's not meant to run countries. Ham is meant to be a servant to Japheth and Shem. You can call that racism, but it's really what the Bible teaches. And I think that is a much better order for society as opposed to just allowing everything to go crazy and thinking that that Africans can run a country on their own. I don't. For the most part, I think that's really true. Because Africa kind of sucks. Yes, I know. Absolutely. That's why I don't like talking about the IQ thing, because of the Darwinistic underpinnings behind that. Cat capitalism, I don't think anyone really here cares about Aquinas. No one's talking about Aquinas. Unless you want to sit here and read the Summa Theologica for us. You should do some research into the Rwandan genocide and other genocides less well recognized in the West. It's very, I know, it's horrific. It's very horrific. There's a reason. If you talk about African genocides, they were really horrible, but any genocide is going to be horrible. Genocide in Southeast Asia was horrible. Genocide in China was horrible. Genocide by Japan was absolutely horrible. Genocide by Ukrainian nationalists was horrible. I mean, killings by Croatian fascists were horrible. Like, it's not just blacks who are committing genocide. A lot of people have committed genocide. So yeah, I don't see how pointing to African genocides proves any sort of thing. Like, doesn't really prove that they're inferior or anything like that in any way. It just proves that people can be very, very evil. Enjoy the facade of an ecumenical church. Oh, John Juan is a Catholic. Brother Reed Snow, you obviously weren't in Eastern Europe during the 1990s. You'd have seen quite a few unsafe, disorganized white neighbors. Yeah, exactly, absolutely. That's why I think it's dangerous to try to overgeneralize people and say, well, blacks are this way because of this. I think that as a whole, generally speaking, I think Africans are better off being ruled under Europeans. That's just my opinion. There's a bad echo. Dang it, how do I get rid of this? Hold on. How about now? Is that better? Oh God, let's read it. That's the books that were removed. Oh, you are Chinese. Do you live in China? What do you say to people who say hell for eternity is unjust for temporary sins? Hell for eternity is unjust. What do you think about that? I don't like saying who's going to hell and who's not going to hell. I don't like getting into that because then I can start saying, well, this guy's going to burn in hell because he did this one thing. Yet again, I myself am a sinner. So I don't like getting into that. I just don't like getting into that subject. I think it's absolutely offensive that people go to the Yasukuni shrine. Oh, you are Chinese. That's cool. Are you from China? Like, were you born in China? Yeah, I agree. It's very cringy. Anyway, I've been here for 2 hours, guys. Yeah, I know. Most of them are absolutely European. I completely agree with you. It's because they're just better at civilization. That's why I'm saying I think African countries are better off being ruled by Europeans. It's just a fact. I don't like getting into the nitty gritty of genetics and all that because then we get into Darwinism. I don't want to get into Darwinism. I would much rather have a theological explanation for it. That way we can have a realistic view of the different people groups, and then synchronize with that or harmonize with that, we can have the compassion that emanates from the Christian religion. That's my position. We still keep our culture as diaspora China. I know, I love the Chinese food. If one hasn't repented even at the moment of their death, what do you expect? Unfortunately, there are no successful black countries. They're not. You're absolutely right. All the African countries suck. I agree. They're not good at making countries. They're not good at running countries. They're just not. When does the next Resident Evil come out? I'm not sure. The next Resident Evil is supposed to come out in 2022. Definitely can't wait for that one. America tries to follow the one China policy, which is like Taiwan and China are part of the same country. Hong Kong is China, but there are a lot of Hong Kong ones separate. All right, guys, I think I'm done here. I think I'm going to talk to them here for 2 hours. So I think we're cool. I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening or your day. You guys just heard some theology. God bless.